When we do, it is pleasant, but I want to show him off. So can you stand with me just for a moment? I love style and I love hats. And I'm loving this hat that he's wearing. So, just kind of show that hat off just a little bit. Just turn your head this way. All right, men, you're getting ready. We're in the fall season. You better enjoy wearing these derbies and hats right now because the snow is on the way.
I know.
Thank you for bringing your heart back to North Minneapolis. And that says a lot, right? All right. We have a familiar face here, Sister Sharon Brooks of Peace of Hope, which she founded and is the director. We had an awesome training event that took place on this past Thursday. And I really encourage you to really tap into that training. I even benefited from it, and I was there to cover it, but I like doing that because I get to take advantage of what is happening and learn. And so when you think about how do you reach out to your loved one who's incarcerated, maybe you're afraid to do so, maybe the bridges have been burned, and you may not even know where that loved one is. She held a comprehensive training on how to deal with the internet to find your loved one. So I think this is pretty special. But right now I'd like for her to address the Peace Bench. We celebrated that on about a Thursday, I believe it was. Anyway, we did it twice. And then this past weekend at Shiloh Temple, the Peace Bench was there. And unfortunately, as my co-host made reference to, VJ Smith, the Peace Bench dedication celebration also turned into a vigil for 3 homicides that took place last week. Wow. I'm speechless today. I really am. Because it's going to require accountability. You've got to love yourself and your community enough. See, these homicides are not hidden. Hear me, they're not hidden. You know who these individuals are. And for whatever the reason, you have put a gag order on yourself, which says that you're going to continue this behavior, you're going to continue the killings and whatever. But you're going to have to start shaking your own homes, moms and dads. You heard the gentleman say he came back to North Minneapolis because he cares. But do you really care? Do you care enough to be able to pick up the phone? You have organizations in the community that you can silently contact and tell them what the issue is. Let them know, yeah, the guns are in my home. They're hidden in my home. I know who some of these individuals are. If you get an opportunity, read the book of John Turnipseed. John is an executive with Urban Venture. He started the fathering program and then advanced to he was elevated to vice president, and he's also a minister of the gospel. And no one can speak the way he can, but I'm telling you, you want to get your hands on his book. And where I'm going with that is that he was notorious. But due to those who loved him and his own love for his family, he said enough is enough. And his life completely turned around. Now, I'm not doing it any justice, but I'm trying to get to a point. He loved his family and his own son enough, stay with me, that his son, he turned him in. He turned him in for his son's own good, because he wanted his son to live. To live. Now, you've got a beef with life and death for whatever the reason, because if you didn't, the homicides would not be happening. But I want you to think about this. If you have to silently reach out to Urban Ventures, John Turnipseed, and have a private conversation to make a decision about what you need to do, He's got the wisdom to guide you through it. Don't put it off. Don't put it off. And maybe you don't value your own life, and that's why it's okay. But we value your life. And we want you to live without being involved in criminal behavior. Our black men are already being criminalized. Men that are upright, have a heart to build community. But because of this behavior, this constant killing that is going on, you don't help that at all. So I say to you, make a decision today. We're praying for you, that the exposure will come to your home, to your house, and you'll be able to step out and say, I can't do this anymore. I'm ready. So that's where we're at. All right, today we're talking about, get out to vote, obviously, and I made reference to Piece of Hope. And so I'd like to just tag team just a little bit, just in the event there's something coming up, because we always want you to know current events. In the event, Sister Sharon Brooks has something she'd like to share.
Thank you, Apostle Barber. I appreciate your show. Thank you so much for the message that you bring to our community. We need you, and we appreciate you. Hello, everybody. I am Sister Sharon, and I am the director and founder of Piece of Hope, where we're expert advocates for families of the incarcerated. We know that a lot of the calamity that is happening in our community here in North Minneapolis and in other urban areas all over the country are due to distress and problems and depression over having people in prison and people being mistreated, period, systemic racism. What we do at Piece of Hope is try to relieve some of those feelings so that we don't lash out at each other in such violent, negative ways. There are other ways to have conflict resolution. One of the things that we do have coming up is we're sponsoring a trip for 10 families who want to go visit their loved ones who are incarcerated in Minnesota Correctional Facility St. Cloud. That trip will be on November the 19th. We'll be leaving at 8 a.m. sharp from Emerge Career and Technology Center. You can call me at 612-220-4678 and get registered to go. There will be a preliminary orientation before you go so that you can know the rules and regulations of the correctional facility. There is no charge. The cost is donation-based. Piece of Hope is here to advocate for you, families of the incarcerated. We want to reach out to you. Also on November the 17th, which is the previous Thursday before our trip, we'll have this forum called The Greatness of Man. The Greatness of Man will be, the speaker is Brother Dwayne Martin. He gave a sample of The Greatness of Man at the event Thursday, the mass communication, reaching the incarcerated from the outside in. And what I want to tell you is that for our young men and women who do possess guns and have chosen not to turn them in, not sure what to do with the gun or even what mindset you should be in, I welcome you specifically to attend this event. It's November the 17th, also held at Emerge Career and Technology Center, and it's called The Greatness of Man. Your life will never be the same. What you do with that gun will be different. How you feel about yourself and your neighbor and people who look just like you will be different, I promise you. We're going to eat good, we're going to play music, all the things that we do at Piece of Hope, and also this empowerment piece. With that said, I just want to touch a little bit on the election that's happening next Tuesday. I want to tell you that your vote does count. Your senator votes count. You need to know what your leaders are doing, what are they voting for. Don't think that your vote doesn't count. You could attend one of our constitutional law classes, also held at Emerge Career and Technology Center. There's a lot going on at Emerge. You'd be remiss not to stop in there and get some of that good stuff. Career, a job, a purpose. There are things going on. So, come on through, and we'll be there to teach you constitutional law and our freedom of speech classes every Wednesday and Thursday from 10 a.m. to noon through December. And it probably will continue on in the year 2017. And I just want to know, do you know the preamble to the Constitution? Thank you.
What is one very striking point in the Constitution that you are really driving home?
Well, that's a good question, Apostle. I do believe that the preamble, which is one sentence, and it sums up the Constitution, which governs the United States land. It governs us. So the preamble, one sentence long, we all need to know that, and we need to know the 4 points that are promised to every American. There are 4 points in the Constitution that are promised to each and every last one of us. If we don't know what those 4 points are, then we don't think we have them coming to us. So I encourage everybody to learn the Constitution, learn the preamble especially. If you don't want to learn all of the Constitution, which is less than 200 pages long, it's really a short book that runs our entire land, then you do need to know the preamble, which is only one sentence, and it promises 4 basic things to all Americans. To all Americans, pardon. The 4 points you can learn by coming to the class, the Freedom of Each class, on Wednesdays and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to noon, held at Emerge, or you can give me a call at 612-220-4678, and I can come to you. So, also, we must know that right now, because President Barack Obama's appointment is not being respected, we're down to only 8 Supreme Court judges instead of 9. We need to look at both of our candidates to find out their position on making our Supreme Court whole again. It hasn't been whole all year since one of the justices died, and President Barack's appointment has been ignored. We really need to get focused on what's happening, y'all. Stand to.
She said it, and that's why she is here, and we want to tap into significant voices that can educate us and help us better. You know, it's interesting how when immigrants come to the United States, I find it interesting that they learn all of that. That's a part of them becoming citizens. Do we teach this in school to our children? Families, I mean, you know, I'm just thinking about this. When was the last time, as your children are growing up, you pulled it out, the Constitution, the preamble, and went over it with your children to help them understand what's really going on? Just a thought for you to think about. All right, we have another visitor, a guest, here at Sammy's Avenue Eatery. You are?
My name is Chad Schwitters.
And Chad, is this your first visit at Sammy's Avenue Eatery?
Oh, no.
Why do you come here?
Because Sammy does a chef's special. When I come, I just say whatever he wants to make, and then I eat it.
Oh, wow. I love it. What does that say? Sammy, you gotta get this. And that's how so many people think of you. It's like home. It's simply like home. All right, tell us what you do in the community. And do you live in North Minneapolis?
I do. I live in North, and I work at Urban Homeworks just up the street here.
All right. And your capacity?
I'm the executive director.
All right. Have we talked before?
I think we've run into each other a few times.
A few times, all right. What is the primary, shall we